Why are you blinding innocent people? Polly asked with a challenging grin. Is it to steal their souls? Are you the Lord they mad reborn, or do you merely seek what was his? There was a lingering pause as silence claimed the air. Polly looked around, wearing taunting pride on her face. The voice spoke again.
Do not mistake me for some sadistic, power-hungry lunatic. I am a lover of life. My soul is an inferno of passion you could never understand. So many of us waste our lives without trying to achieve some purpose, some goal. When all this is over, I will give 10 souls true meaning. They will not shatter. They will not die. They will live on in me forever, as one with the sands of time.
Polly laughed and bit her bottom lip with a smile. Immortality? Lifespan elongation? Pathetic. No doubt that's what you offered the detectives. Those two were your narrow-minded rooks. The 4 ruffians were your pawns. Hinton destroyed your knights at the tavern. How many more pieces must be taken before we take the king?
More than you can handle, child.
The 8 windows became wreathed in angry flames. The twisted images sprung to life and leapt onto the floor and into the air. They looked just as they did when they were frozen in glass and iron, only closer to being real. Will leapt onto the center of the grand table. His sword and pistol were drawn, catching light on their polished steel. It was enough to make half of the stained glass entities take notice and try to swarm him. The thinking man caught 2 hot lead nuggets in its chest, making it crumble to jagged bits. The acting monkey fell into 2 shattering halves from the sword's flashing cleave. The understanding dog's jaw busted off from a kick that seemed to come from nowhere. The onyx wings of the talking raven were broken off by the next pair of bullets. The glass bird had just enough time to scream, "Oh, shunt," before splintering on the tabletop. The Yashinan sword flashed once more, finishing the dog off. Polly's show of confidence was not in vain. As the wary owl descended upon her, she quickly summoned her veins. They squirmed from her forearms like long, thorny worms. Catching the screeching fowl in a supernatural grasp, the young blood mystic took a long, deep step and spun around as hard as she could. The large bird crashed into the side of a dinner chair, leaving a broken pile of wood and glass. Sir Roger barely dodged the hind hooves of the working mule. Quickly switching to his huge greatsword, he took a few steps back to ready a swing. The hooked-end bill blade was designed to take down live, thick-legged biliers. A glass ass would be fast outclassed. The mule let loose another set of kicking hooves. Roger evaded to the side and swung down as the hind legs came up. The beast's limbs broke off with ease. A hasty follow-up swing knocked most of its head off. Hinton was amazed by the speed of the exerting tortoise, not because the tortoise was too fast to deal with, but he knew that real tortoises were much slower. He needed only to jump onto its big shell and deliver one good hard stomp, and the fight was over. "Yeah!" Will celebrated. "We're gonna eat this boy's lunch." "You are Desaro trained," Roger cheered. "Not bad. Not bad at all, Willy boy." Hinton looked down at the pile of shards he stood in. It was a tortoise, for Slate's sake. It should have been designed for durability, not speed. Polly looked very nervous all of a sudden. "The spider! The concentrating spider! Where did it go? Did one of you destroy it?" The 3 men looked at each other. Heads shook and shoulders shrugged. Right above them came the sound of metal bending and crystal tinkling. The grand chandelier descended on its chain like an arachnid on a strand of web. Its long crystal and candle-covered limbs were spread like spindly fingers on a giant hand. As it lowered, its shadow eclipsed the 4 intruders. "Move!" Will called. "Spread out!" What none of them noticed was that the concentrating spider had leapt onto the chandelier. The first 7 signs were only meant as distractions in the master's design. As the intruders destroyed them, the stained glass spider had melded with the hanging wheel of lights. What the team faced now was not unlike the saga fiend in size and shape, but this threat had no throat to cut or blood to spill. It crashed down upon the table, sending wooden debris everywhere.